Hey everyone, welcome to a global exclusive non-Newsday edition where we actually have access to the entire kit. It's been um months, I think, since we did a regular episode. Right? I don't know if you remember Sinzar, but I think it's been a long time.
It's been a while because someone actually asked me the other day, "What's up with podcasts? Why don't they do them anymore?" So I went to the podcast channel and I looked, and I'm like, "Oh, there's like Newsday videos most times, but like the actual podcast is yeah, it's been a while." So I said, I don't know.
Yeah, it has. It's not by choice. I mean, all of us are still playing the game actively. It's just been a series of unfortunate events or just life, having a hard time finding a good slot. And we've also been kind of dropping a couple of news days as well lately, just because of the same thing. I have a new job. Dreamch has a new job, and it's hard to find time. But hey, maybe we just need to change the schedule a bit. So I'm hoping we're gonna get more of them out. Anyway, we're here now, right?
Hmm. Correct. That's all that counts.
It's all that counts. It is. Well, not all that counts, but like it's good. So actually, this is kind of a special event. Didn't we get surprised by this new Melissa unit?
Yeah, she wasn't announced. It's not from JP. It's not, at this point we expect a class unit every single month. So, considering class was supposed to have just ended, we were not expecting a new unit just out of nowhere.
Right. And so she seems to have a. I heard that her sprite is from the Chinese server.
Yes, she was a unit. The sprite was a unit on the JP server, but people that not JP,
Mm.
the Chinese server before it shut down, and people that played it have said that the kit of the global unit and the kit of the Chinese unit are nothing alike. So it's
Yep.
literally they just copied the art and made a completely unique kit to it.
Oh, I mean that definitely sounds smart, right? If the CN server is shutting down and or has shut down, like it will be a waste to not use the sprites. In fact, there might be more, right? Like I seem to remember there being a couple of Chinese exclusive units,
Oh,
right?
yeah. There's a few. I'm not really super familiar with Chinese server. I do know there's at least two others that people have been linking in chats, and I've seen them. Like, oh, okay, cool. But
Yeah.
there could be more. I just don't really know.
So we might be getting those. That's nice. That's nice. Okay. So let's talk about Melissa then. So she surprised everyone, and on top of everything, she seems to be a cow unit, which was the big surprise because cow is normally supposed to end. Now it is extended due to the screw up with the modifiers last week. Um, but she is a cow unit, so I don't know if you'll be bringing her to this cow. Um, will you?
You can. I actually already took her and did a rank one clear using her, so she is definitely viable. Even though this cow is absolutely not made for her, but she can still come and help out.
Oh, nice, nice. Well, so she's a healer and a buffer and an SLB unit, so she has no shift. And so what would you call like is her main thing being a dark support?
That yes, and when you need a dark sport, she is good at that. Honestly, I would say her main thing is a morale battery. That is by far the most powerful thing in her kit is the morale fill. She fills like a lot more than Kresnik while doing other stuff as well. So she fills the morale gauge extremely easily.
Right, and she has like the dark version of Kresnik's light imbue, all
Hmm.
imbue, so that you absorb. Although it seems like the absorption only happens for one turn, so it's slightly worse than Kresnik's for the long term survival.
Well, Well, no, she has two different ones.
Oh,
She has
okay.
the one in her normal kit is the one turn. That one is the normal version, and that's available everywhere. She also has one that is only usable in Clash of Wills. That one is 3 turns. So she has a grand total of 4 turns of physical
Oh,
immunity for the party, which is
oh,
pretty insane
that is
considering
insane.
yeah, like clash fights are only 10 turns to the max most of the time. We did have one exception, but that's like 40% of your fight. If you bring Lilith, she can do it another. That's like half the fight. You're just straight up immune to physical
Yeah, I
damage.
was just
That's
gonna say, like, there are
crazy.
definitely trials where these 4 turns will be enough for you to just set up your burst and kill the boss if you're not going for the HP lock. So like,
Hmm.
that can definitely trivialize a lot of content for you. Very cool, very cool. Um, so a morale battery, that's nice since they're kind of nerfing or trying to rotate Chow out, and everyone like Kresnik was the poor man's Chow before. If you didn't have Chow, you could bring Kresnik and try to fill. But I do see what you're saying now. Her morale values are insane on her normal abilities.
Yes, but that's not even the best thing. Is her passive morale generation at EX3? She's generating, after turn one, she's generating 2,000 morale completely passively. If
Wow.
you include something like Wilk's vision card, that's 2,700 passively. Then you can include her active skills for another like 1,200 on top. That's like 3,800 morale per turn. That is just.
Oh, that is
I think that's
insane.
more. I think that's more than double what Kresnik does.
Yeah, I mean, so just as a comparison, Kresnik's big thing comes from his shift ability that gives him 1,000 per turn, and then he can
Hmm.
get like what 100 more per turn or something if he also LBs in shift or something like that. So
Hmm.
uh,
And then he
some
can triple cast some skills too.
yeah, but I think he only gets like 200 per skill or something like that. Not even that, maybe. I don't even remember. But like, he can get up to like 1,500 tops per,
Mm.
or let's say 2K. Doesn't matter. That's still so much lower than what she can do. That is insane. Yeah, seems to be a very cool unit. I would really like to pull her because she also has a lot of those single target 250 killers, which is
Hmm.
something I really really like because I like using Regina. So I would love to pull her. I've tried. So far, nothing, and I of course can't afford pity. So I guess I'm gonna have to see what lapis we get next week. Maybe I can do another 10 pull. So did you go for her?
I did. My polls were absolutely abysmal. I got nothing of value. Every single pull was an off banner dumpster. I had to go only to pity, and then I had to pick up her fragment bundle just to make her EX2. So my polls this month or this week, I guess, were completely terrible. But I did
Uh,
go for her.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm really sorry to hear that. And I've spoken out many times against off-banner pulls. I really, you know, I understand that it's impossible to remake the game now because their entire monetization model is built upon the fact that you can pull garbage units while you're chasing the unit you want, and then there is a pity built in. But I honestly like my problem with that is that I think it might be worth reworking that mechanic or reworking the way it's monetized because it's such an unfun experience. Honestly, like seeing, I don't know if you agree, but like seeing this red crystal drop on a banner you're desiring, right? And then you open it and it's like your 10th Furion, or even worse, it's like a rain. That's the most
Ooh,
disheartening shit in the world.
exactly. Can I give you some highlights from my poll
Oh, please
video?
do, please do. I need to hear suffering.
Mazurka, Leftia, and the original Cloud.
Wow. Okay. Well, okay. The original Cloud at least has a decent SDMR that's sometimes still usable.
Sure, if I didn't have like three of them plus an EX3 Cloud already, maybe okay, I could get behind that. But I
Yeah.
don't need more Cloud.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that 100%. And I really think they should reconsider because pity, like, pity is great. Don't get me wrong. I think it's great that there is a pity, but it removes the spontaneity from the game. The I just threw 5 tickets at the banner and I got a red. And, like, oh my God. The thing is, FFB has always been all about off banner. Off banner rainbows and off banner NBs. That's how the game has always worked. But I don't know, just like tweaking it a bit, maybe tweaking the lapis prices a bit, but making it so that it's much more likely to get the on banner unit than the off banner unit or something. I don't know because right now, like, it's just disheartening. Like listening to what you did, so you went all the way to pity. You got like what 4 NVs, right?
So by memory, including just the step up, 'cause I actually did some other polls in their video as well. But just the step up, I think I only had one non-guaranteed Neo Vision. Yeah, I got one non-guaranteed on the card step or the armory step up, and then I got none whatsoever on the follow up 4 laps you have to go for pity. Yeah, so it was just real bad. And the ones I did get were all low quality, every
Yeah.
single one of them.
Jesus. I mean that sucks. That's not a fun experience in the game. And if they're building a game around you have to have pity in order to enjoy the game, I think they're gonna start losing a lot of players like myself or just I mean, I know of my weakness. I'm just completely incapable of saving up for pity. That's just how it is. And you know what? Like, let's just send a fuck you to Tigia, who just posted a screenshot in the live chat of doing a 10 pull or 10 plus 1 pull and getting 3 Melissas. Like, oh my god, fuck you. Oh, Jesus Christ. I
Yeah, I see that. That's insane.
That is fucking insane. I only did 3 10 plus 1 pulls so far. 0 NVs. Like, I got nothing. 0 NVs, 0 Melissas, obviously. Yeah, yeah. Okay, but hey, sometimes you're lucky, I guess. Sometimes you're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Kind of funny.
but honestly, I don't know how they would fix it. I'm comparing to other gachas. Like I'm comparing to, let's say, Epic 7, right? Epic. I don't know if you've ever played Epic 7, but if you get a 5-star on banner, that's the guaranteed unit. End of story. Like that. Like the rates are lower. It's 1%. And honestly, I'd be fine with having a 1% rate as long as I know that on that 1% I would get the on banner unit.
What I think they could if they really wanted to fix the feels bad for pulling off banners, they would just have to like do a NeoVisions era unit of choice thing. So for example, I could trade in that cloud for like a NeoVision unit of choice ticket. Not a 1-to-1 ratio,
No, no, I
obviously.
get
So
it. I
we're
get
saying
it.
like 15 or 20 bad Neos can trade it in for one of my choice.
Yeah, we've been talking about this. Like, there are many good ideas on this topic, or like that you could trade unit shards at a like 1-to-3 ratio, and then like 100 shards can also be traded for that unit or something like that. So you can, you have to kind of spend a lot. Oh, excellent. Hey, Dream, welcome.
Hello. Hi.
What's up?
Been a while.
It's been a while, yes, because I was just about to say some math asshole is going to come in here and say, hey, because you know what I said, Dream? I said that I would much rather prefer a 1% on banner rate, like, or 1% envy rate, but everything is on banner, than, whatever we have now, 3% envy rate. And then somebody would come in and say, what would you say, Dream?
That you get the same amount of banner units either way.
Exactly, exactly. And my point would be that it's the actual feeling of not pulling the banner unit that's so negative that it doesn't matter. I think it would be a more positive experience if you just didn't get the extra envy units. Honestly.
I think the solution is 3% banner rate.
Well, I mean, I would not say no to 3% on banner rate. No.
I mean, thinking about it, we've had the same NV rates for over 2 years now.
Yeah, that's true actually. And given
Rainbow
like I've
rates
talked about
increased
this
way
many
more.
times. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'd just say rainbow rates increased way more frequently than that throughout like the 6 and 7-star era.
Yeah, yeah, fully on board. And also, we have not gotten a pool cleaning yet either, or a some type of restriction, which we're definitely due. I showed a year ago. I showed a spreadsheet that showed that the power creep in NVs is like 3 times as fast as the power creep in the 7-star era, and that by the time the NVs had been around for 1 year, there was already a pool restriction in place if you compare the actual power creep in damage, which is insane. So we just have a pool of garbage units.
It is true that like it feels so much worse to pull a unit from 2 years ago
Yeah.
as opposed to like pulling an off
Yeah.
banner, determined dagger or something. Like she may not be the best unit ever, but I'd rather pull her over Furion.
Yeah, for sure. I'd
Yeah.
love for somebody to do like a analysis of like how many semi-valuable units there are in the pool.
I think
Mm-hmm.
I think what we really need is like that stuff to generic shards to
Yeah,
convert unit specific shards into after EX3.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we were just also talking about like a way to actually get the original unit too, like some type of UOC in the same manner where you can convert other NVs into. But like that's the thing. doing that, that's basically the same thing as just, lower or raising the on banner rates, right?
Well, sort of. It depends if there's like a delay on it or not, because otherwise you can just save up from EX pulls on previous banners and then get a new unit without even spending anything.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, you're right. I mean, it's less positive for them to do it through the UOC style, because then people can hoard whatever the currency is and just get all the new units. Whereas just forcing people to pull on banner, but just giving them a nicer experience would be the better for everyone.
I think the shard, like being able to get shards through it, would make the most sense.
Yeah, I would love to be able to, convert 200, I don't know, Louise shards into like 50 of another unit.
Mm.
So Dream, did you go for Melissa?
A little bit. I am unfortunately poor right now. I only have about 10k lapis after like saving back up post. What I last put? There's been something since I
Mel-
it was only
you mean
right,
Abigail?
Abigail.
the
I was
banner
like,
just before this
I was
one?
like, who did I spend on?
Yeah.
But yes, I spent on Abigail, so I'm poor right now.
Yeah.
I used my 10 tickets and then did like the 2 discounted steps. Got no NVs, so that was fun.
Yeah, that's very similar to my story as well. I did 3 Templars ones, nothing. So yeah, but at least there's a chance of doing dailies, right? Like I would love to pull Melissa because I feel like a unit like her also would synergize well with my Gilgamesh that I shittered on the banner through a ticket. So I just like
Oh
that.
yeah. Then you'll just need to shoot a DOCs in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. Like I feel like how I am, like I feel how I mean, I've always felt that my play style of not being able to save up has been hurting me in this game, and I'm just feeling how that's getting worse and worse.
Oh, yeah. I think this is very much even more so than usual in a matter of like you really have to choose a few specific targets you want to chase to
Yeah,
like build together a team.
yeah, exactly. Because before, if you just like, or I feel maybe I'm wrong, so please correct me, you two. But before I felt that in my play style, I kind of, you got good units because there wasn't too much element lock. There wasn't too much, this unit is only specifically good for this one thing, but you really need that thing. But it was more like, oh, you didn't pull this meta DPS unit, but you pulled the one that came 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, which was still good enough, and you could keep playing the game and having fun. But now it's kind of like, well, I mean, I guess like if you miss Diosis, for instance, you're screwed, right? At least until the next leader comes out.
Mm. Yeah, well, it's a lot more like unit combo centric now with leaders, I think, going forward.
Right, so it's not
Like you
just
want,
having one unit. You're kind of gonna need some type of ensemble of units to actually make it work.
yeah,
And
you
it
want to kind of target a small group that all can fit under the same leader skill together
Right, right.
and
So, like for
presumably the
instance,
same element.
Melissa, Gilgamesh, and Diosis would be, I guess, a good trio.
Yeah, because they make a foundation for a dark team, and then you can just slap stuff like Sephiroth, Brown Dark Rain on them.
Yeah, yeah.
and although just to rain on your parade, Barrows, a little bit, as we continue to go forward and move into more JP content, it gets 40 times worse than what it is
No.
right now for units being like niche. Like you need everything to do the content going forward because most of the content in JP I'm just skipping these days. I haven't cleared the EX battles from the last 2 events on JP because I can't clear them.
Wait, hold on.
And
You can't? What do you mean you
I
can't?
can't because you have to do this crap with like type 0 units and now you need to do it with Final Fantasy 9 only units. And the only Final Fantasy 9 unit is like the old Zidane who can't carry the fight and stuff like that. So I just don't do the EX fights anymore. So I'm skipping all the silver crowns because I can't get them. And then, for example, the new Esper and JP Garuda, like the new tower, is pretty challenging. And you can't even go into the tower without season 4 only units. You know how small that pool
Oh
is?
shit.
Like
Wait,
it's
season 4 only, but I mean those units are also mostly shit, I guess, except for the new leaders that you guys got on JP.
yeah, except for Tyvus and for level 2, you basically have to have Cal. And if you don't have Cal, you just don't do the tower.
Wow.
It's terrible.
That's
It's
a
terrible.
bit disheartening, to be honest. Like,
Mhm.
so knowing this from the future, Sinzar, like what are your tips to players? Like, what units should you then go for, or is it just that you're fucked unless you're actually whaling?
I mean, I guess you can just do it like me. You clear levels 1 through 3 of the Silver Crown fight, and you just don't clear level 4. And if it's for a unit you really care about, you're gonna have to use a Gold Crown on level 4 to finish them off,
Hmm.
or get lucky and
Well, I
off
mean,
banner
crowns have never been a problem in GL because we just don't get them, so that's okay, I guess. We probably won't suffer.
I
Sorry.
think
True.
we're a lot more likely to get the ones that are tied to these Silver Crown stages now.
Yeah, we
We
have gotten a
don't
fair
seem
bit
to
of them
really be,
already.
yeah, we're not really skipping those so much anymore.
Yeah, and I guess, like,
It's,
if their big incentive in the future is that you have to pull the banner units, I guess, like, then it makes sense, right? Because that is a positive monetization strategy. But quick question then. How do you two feel about Ayaka's card then? Would that be a game changer in any way for us in GL? Like having, let's say, 2 of those, and then you just bring fucking 7 stars with Master's card slapped on them or some shit? I don't know.
Yes, the Ayaka's card will be a tremendously big deal and very helpful. Like, for example, I'm pretty sure Ayaka's card is just better than Kurisame's LB. So as long as you have Kurasame for just a generic unit with a 9,000 magic stat, then that plus Ayaka's card being able to do that every single turn is another big deal.
Yeah.
Is probably going to be good enough to clear it. Yes, it's also AOE, isn't it? Ayaka's card.
I don't
That's
know,
another.
actually.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay, good. That's another major problem. Is a lot of these fights, like the one for Final Fantasy 2 that we just got for Ricard's crowns, or no, for Emperor's crowns. The battle is AOE, and like Zidane, even if you do have the Envy Zidane, he's single target. So it's just like it's so
Okay.
irritating. It's so
Also,
irritating.
yeah, I just checked. I can confirm it is AOE.
Nice.
Okay, good.
Nice.
So that'll be a enormous help on global for
So I
these
asked this
fights.
question in chat just the other day, and Dream, you were advising me to keep going for the EX3 Ayaka, but I'm in this unique position where I have 1 additional Ayaka and I have enough shards to get another card. I would get another card with EX3 too in, like, I think 50 days or something from now. Um, like, would it make sense for me to get 2 cards? Like, is that a good thing?
Mm.
Not
I
big
think
of a deal because you could
I,
just
I
use one person to chain and then one person to Irony's Ring support chain.
Yeah, because you'd have to have like 2 big stat people otherwise, right, to make it worth it. And besides, I will get another card in 50 days anyway, so.
yeah, I'd just keep working towards the EX3 when it's not all that far off. Like maybe if you were otherwise at like EX2 0 shards or something.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and
Then
I mean,
sure.
this is an easy decision to make really when the content comes out as well, right? Like when the content comes out and I
Yeah,
can't
exactly.
clear it, then it becomes easy. So, question though, what do you chain with quad BS AoE? Like, can you make a chain? Because you could put Erinyes
Level
ring, but is there like an
level
AoE BS?
Yeah, the
The
level
Ra
2 black
spells
magics.
are yeah. The
Oh, they are
Ara
all AoE. Oh,
spells.
okay.
hmm
Ah, so
There's
so
just
anything,
not
then
one
just
for
any
light.
Esper really.
There just isn't one for light element, which can be occasionally annoying. But
Yeah, well, I
for
mean,
everything
as
else,
long as you have it as a chain, right? Like, I mean, as long as there's another weakness other than light, you can just use that and just chain with it, right? Because you're not doing damage anyway.
that's true. As long as you spark it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, right. Because it won't be an element. Wouldn't it be an elemental chain though? No, because they have to contain the same element, right?
hmm So yeah, the chain would build really slowly if it was just a normal non-elemental chain.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, you want to.
Yeah, because like
But still, that's
there's that
doable.
weird exception because if the units both share an element but then have an additional element each, and that's a super fast chain to build, but then they still have to share an element, right?
Yeah, for each shared element, you get like one elemental chain instance per
Oh,
hit.
right. Oh, okay. Then I misunderstood the mechanic because I always thought it was like beneficial to have 3 different elements as long as one is shared, but that's not the case. You have to like actually share all of the elements.
Yeah. to get the chain to build faster than just a single element, yeah, you need to share all of the different elements.
Okay. All right. Well. I mean, there's some light in the tunnel then, Sinzar. Like the Ayaka card will help us in GL a bit.
For sure. It's actually always easier on global because even if we get it the exact same as JP, we have more options like Clash of Wills gear, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been reading your because you know me, I hate like copying somebody's video, but sorry, Sinzar, I mean, I watch your videos anyway, but I usually like to read your Reddit posts to get like a quick insight into the fight, and I love the 12 types Reddit post because each one of them has been, yeah, so this was difficult on JP, but it's gonna be a fucking cakewalk in GL because we have all of these units.
I mean,
Hooray.
true.
Hooray
Because
for
like on JP, I have still not beaten Rafflesia because I can't. And on global, it's like what a 3 or 4 turn clear at this point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
no, I mean,
ridiculous.
less strong, elementally flexible damage dealers that can actually like burst more than once.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Like I think I did all of the last 3 or 4 ones. I did them fairly recently. I just brought the near units. Like the girls just like destroyed them. So I just had to have the right element support, and that was it basically.
And Bharos, speaking of those Reddit posts that I make, you actually reminded me I need to make one for the next upcoming trial, which is the new series of trials. So the next one is going to be the Grace of Darkness.
Ah, okay. I was gonna say the 13 types. Okay,
Okay.
no.
No, these are the pull for the specific elementally matching leader.
Oh, okay. So you have like so the point is like you have to have the elemental matching leader in order to even beat it on turn count, I guess.
Actually, okay, for the Grace of Darkness, you could slow clear it no problem. But the one after that, the one after that is the Omega, right? Lightning. The one with Omega, I don't think you can even clear it. Period. If you don't have the leader, because you only get a 2-turn burst, then he goes immune to damage and heals back up. So
Oh.
if you can't burst, like you just can't win. Period.
Wow. Okay.
But even for the first one, you miss most of the missions if you do a slow clear, right? Because it's like 3 different
you miss all the
per
missions.
count.
Yeah. So these the only missions are cleared in 30 turns, 25 turns, and 20 turns. The 20 turn is for badge. The 25 and 30 turn are for lapis. So if you can't do it even in 30 turns, there's almost no point to even run the trial period.
Well, I mean, apart from doing
the-
content, I guess. Yeah, but
Yeah, the fun factor,
okay.
I guess.
So Sinzar, you've explained this to me once, or maybe it was you, Dream. But so the way this works is that units actually do have like a secret element somewhere stored to them as well, right?
Well, it's something that will be added with tags in like the next app update, and it will be like openly visible. There'll be a new menu for it.
Yeah, but
It's
like
just-
all current units also have an element that's kind of gonna be visible when this happens, right?
It's the tags aren't in the data yet properly, so but you can kind of just tell from their kits usually.
Yeah, no, but that's what I meant, right? Like Tybus, for instance, as an example, has a secret element. Like I mean, it's not so secret. It's obviously fire, but he's gonna get that explicitly once this release comes out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there's just nowhere currently in data that he is marked as a fire unit. That
Yeah,
will
exactly.
come later.
And so, for instance, it's also safe to assume that the near girls would be light, right?
Yes,
Yes.
that's
No.
pretty safe.
Global can always change things, but so far in JP, no matter how many units or how many elements are in a unit's kit, they only get one chosen. So, for example, Wilk, who has absolutely no favor towards wind or earth, he is 100% equal support to both. If Global does the way JP does, they would just pick, I guess, randomly, flip a coin.
Right.
But he will not be an earth wind. He'll be an earth or a wind unit.
Okay.
The exception is they can have a different element tag in base and shift, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
they could do one form of each, I guess.
Yeah, that's
But that
unfortunate
would
for
be
Wilk though,
awkward.
because he's controlling his through his weapon choice and not through his shift form. But yeah.
I mean,
But
Global
again-
might just choose to give him two.
Yes, yeah, because there's no like gameplay limitation or coding limitation that forces that. They just choose to do it that way.
Yeah,
But
okay.
they could easily add more tags, because units have between like 2 to 10 tags for other stuff as well, not just element.
Okay. And this is the reason why I'm asking is this is like the main mechanic to kind of explain it to listeners that might not know that are as clueless as me. That's going to kind of restrict you to a certain leader, right? So Diosas is going to be dark. So unless your unit has the dark tag, like for instance, let's say Sephiroth is obviously going to have the dark tag, you're not getting the 500% stats, right?
Yeah, and
Correct, but
DOC's leader skill does cover like 3 or 4 different tags. The element ones are just the most easy to kind of build a cohesive team around, but you can still potentially slot in 1 or 2 non-dark units that are covered by one of his other tags,
Ah.
like say mid covered by his anniversary tag.
Oh, wow. Okay. So there's tags like meta tags like that as well.
Yeah,
yes.
for like sub stories and series and stuff.
Oh shit. But
And that's pretty much the reason most people say Rain is the leader to go for, because he covers all Brave Exvius.
right.
All of it.
But this is where we're unsure if that also means our GLEX, right? Because like we've been saying that maybe GLEX units are going to get a GLEX tag instead of an FFBE tag, which might make Rain less hot for us and more easy to sell a GLEX leader, obviously, for Cow, for instance.
That is possible, but people would be very mad. So they might be wary of doing that.
Yeah. I guess there are other ways to sell a cow leader as well, right? Like you sell a cow leader that actually has like morale abilities and stuff, and then
Yeah,
you're golden.
actually has a good kit.
Yeah.
Or you just do it the way Global usually does it. Sell a cow leader with a 600 leader skill.
Yeah. True. Okay, well, it's a very interesting meta we're moving in towards. I'm just happy that you know, or I guess I'm gonna have to rework my pulling. I've tried so many times, it's not going to work. But I would have to rework my pulling if I want to enjoy the game, because I would need to kind of try to cherry pick the units that are actually useful for the leaders I get, right?
That
So
would be wise, yes.
out of curiosity, Barros, not counting meta reasons, is there one of the upcoming 7 leaders that you would want for like favoritism reasons? Like, do you love Squall and would you want him as your leader just because you like Final Fantasy 8? Or
Okay, hold the
just you
fuck
love
on. You had me at Squall. Wait, there's a Squall leader?
Yeah, he's the
And
he's the leader for light.
yeah, so I was actually going to recommend him because you have 2B and A2 as well.
Oh my
So he
god!
can be both of the pick.
So I would have a Squall that's like a light leader, and I could bring the near girls too? Okay, but wait, who would be the elemental support for light though?
Your supports don't need the stat buffs, so who cares? Bring
Oh
Return Fiend or
exactly.
whatever.
The stat buffs are just for the people that are actually gonna press the hard buttons. Yeah, true. Okay, wow. So when, like timeline wise, when are we looking towards Squall?
He's like the 5th premium leader, so maybe like 3-4 months or something.
Yeah, so
Depending
my
on
brain
patch.
now is saying, "Oh, nice. Then I have plenty of time to save." But what is actually going to happen when Squall gets released is I'm going to have like 245 lapis, so I won't even be able to afford a daily.
Better save up that credit card instead.
Yeah, I guess that's the way to go. Yeah, no, like no way. Like I am not paying for pities because that's so expensive in the game. Like there's no way. Like the way I buy in this game is just to have fun, like to be able to do. Like for Melissa, like I paid for 2 10+1s. I had one. I paid for 2 more. That was good enough. That's it. I don't do pities because that costs way too much. For me. Okay, well, anyway, I feel like we've exhausted the content. I've also given everyone a fair warning about leaders and what to expect and what to think about. And Sinzar, just a meta question. So Diosis comes out in 2 weeks, right? Is he still a viable leader to bring in JP for the latest content, or has he already been power crept?
He has kind of been power crept as far as he's not, like, the dark team is not the best team available anymore. But I am currently still using him for most content just because I have the most cohesive dark team. Even though I got Squall all the way to EX3, like my light options are Squall and Knights of Grandchild, and that's kind of it. So like I just can't build a good of a light team as I can of a dark team. So for the most part, I'm still using darkness even 6 months later.
But that's definitely testament to what you said before, Dream, right? Like that it's actually the leaders are heavily dependent on your set pieces rather than which leader you pulled, right?
Yeah, you want sort of a leader plus at least kind of 2, maybe 3 other decent damage dealers that they can cover.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, interesting. Well, then it definitely sounds like either Rain or Squall are the leaders I should go for. Because for Dark, I mean, I don't really have anyone. I have Gilgamesh. That's fucking it. Like, oh, Sephiroth, obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sephiroth
Crown
and
Tef.
Dark Reign should get his crowns during the Deosis event, unless they get skipped, but it probably won't because it's kind
Yeah,
of
but my
tied
Dark
into
Reign
the.
is only EX1. I don't think he's gonna be doing
Oh,
anything.
ouch! Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not as good.
Mine's like a week away from EX3 because I've had him in Shard Dungeon for a while, which is nice.
Wow, that's dedication. I keep shifting out units out of Shard Dungeon because I only basically aim for like EX2 for most of them. So I have had such a hard time sticking to one unit for a long time.
Yeah. For a while, I sort of ran out of new stuff to put in there, so I just worked towards a couple of the old EX3 cards, and they're almost there now. But now I have some more stuff to replace them with once they're done. My
Nice.
Sephiroth, on the other hand, is still barely above EX2.
Oh,
I
okay.
basically never off banner him.
Oh, I got so many. Like I have, I think I have enough for another EX2 if I wanted to. I just haven't had the time to
Oh my
fuse.
god. Yeah. I basically I think I scraped EX2 for him like not long after his actual banner where I pulled, and then have gotten like 1 copy since.
Yeah. Okay.
So, real quick, Barrett, before
Hmm?
we end this, I just want to point out one amusing little quirk about Melissa.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I missed all that.
so Melissa, her normal attack is zombie cure, right? So they expect you to use her to cure a zombie.
Right. Well,
But she's a bunch of
So
re-raise.
during the preemptive, so before the fight even starts, she puts up a permanent duration re-raise on the party. Meaning, if there is ever a boss that does zombie, you already have a permanent duration re-raise on your party. So you're going to die to it no matter what. You can't even cure it
can't you
because of that. Now,
dispel it?
you can dispel it, but
But it's
yes,
awkward.
you can dispel your own party. I just find it hilariously how disconnected this is.
That is
That
actually funny.
Yeah.
the unit they want you to cure a zombie with puts up a permanent. You can't even turn it off. You have to put it
Yeah.
up. AOE re-raise on the party. It's so funny. It's so
That is
funny.
actually pretty funny. That is actually pretty funny. That you're better off bringing like who else can cure zombie? Kresnik?
Pretty much Kresnik, yeah. Technically Calmia, but Kresnik.
Yeah. Or like shift form NVA Lotus Fina.
Oof.
Mhm.
Okay, well
Also,
that is interesting. Like it's this not having put too much thought into a unit's kit,
also, just briefly while we're revisiting Melissa, because I missed the first part of it,
right?
did we mention, because I assume you did a pretty exhaustive comparison to Sylvie,
No,
but
no.
with,
We literally didn't
oh,
say Sylvie a single time while talking about her, but okay.
I'm not sure if you're joking or
No, no,
not,
no.
but
I'm like 100% serious. We did not say the word
oh,
Sylvie a single time.
huh,
We were saying
interesting,
Kresnik a lot, though. Like we were saying
huh,
Kresnik, comparing her kind of to the morale battery of Kresnik, but not
Yeah,
so much
huh,
like Sylvie's
yeah.
support.
The
Although, yeah,
'cause
I see what you're
I
trying
think,
to say.
yeah, she parallels are a lot between like the killers, obviously 1 element instead of 2, then all the other stuff. But one interesting thing I noticed that I haven't seen mentioned is with her killers, unlike Sylvie's one, they're very similar in format with the single target 250, AoE 150, but hers are 1 turn cooldown instead of 2. So for burst turns, she can actually get the 250 killer onto 2 units instead
Mm.
of 1 if you don't need her to chain on the kill turn.
Well, that's a very good
So
point, actually. That's pretty OP.
yeah, it's a pretty nice buff.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I did not see that. Oh, Sylvie's are 2. I thought they were just 5 for the entire duration of the killers. Maybe they weren't.
The 250 one is short.
Okay. All right. All right. Interesting.
So
Interesting.
you see, the proper play is to bring Melissa and Sylvie and have Melissa use her LB on Sylvie, and then Sylvie's are 1 turn as well.
Oh yeah, because Melissa also can reduce cooldowns. We didn't actually say that in the when we were talking about her. So somebody was making a joke to me that like, hey, you could use Melissa to have Regina burst more than once in a fight. Yeah, it's only gonna take like. So it's gonna be like what, 50 turns instead of 99? That's great. No, actually, it's gonna be a lot shorter. She lowers 2 turns every turn if you can fill the LB, right? And Regina lowers it 1 turn every turn, right? So that's technically 3 turns, so a third of the time, almost.
It's only 2 turns on the SLB. It's 1 turn on the regular LB.
Ah, okay, yeah. Oh yeah. It sounds like a viable strat. So like in 50 turns you can burst twice, which is great.
Anyway, I missed the full discussion, but I think Melissa is very good.
Yes, she is obviously super strong. We were talking about the numbers on her morale gain, which is just insane.
Oh yeah, it's like 2,500 per turn, completely automatic or
Yes,
something.
absolutely insane. So I really hope I pull her. And then that I maybe get Diosis. That would be absolutely amazing for me. But given my luck lately, like I don't think so.
Yeah. And also, like 4 turns of complete physical immunity to the party in
crazy.
Clash.
Sinzar was also saying, you bring Lilith, you get 5. Jesus. That is pretty broken. Or, you bring her and you bring Kresnik, and then you get like 8. No, sorry, 7.
7 combined, although, honestly speaking, I can't really see Kresnik coming to parties where Melissa is there, because they just, he doesn't bring really anything.
Yeah. Well, he can do some light damage, right? He can chain.
No.
He can chain, right? Like, actually, I think Melissa does more because she has like Darka +2, right? And that's probably stronger.
I mean, if we're talking 0.2 DPS to 0.3, sure, it's higher.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. All right. We've exhausted this week. It was super fun having you both on. Actually, and me and Dream were saying, hey, remember the time when we actually did regular podcast episodes?
Yeah, God. It's been something like a month and a half since I've actually recorded.
Yeah. We really need to get back into it, because I was saying, like, all of us still play the game regularly, so it's not that we're losing interest in the game itself. It's just been life kind of stepping on us and stopping us from doing this often.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, thanks you two for joining. This was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this a lot. It's been a long time ago.
It's nice to catch up.
Fun to join again.
Cool. So thanks everyone also for joining on the Discord. Have a fantastic week.
Later.
See ya.